Question number 8. This drawing is a model of Sherry's computer. What is the approximate volume of Sherry's computer? All right, so if we look here closely, it looks like we have 2 rectangular prisms. So we have this back one that's kind of large here. It looks like it's 4. Oh my. It's 4 times 2 times 5, which is going to give us 40. So I'll write that in there. And then we have this other one over here, which is 3 by 3 by 2, which is going to give us 18. So I put those together. Now our last step, we need to combine these two amounts, 40 plus 18, which is 58. Now anytime we deal with volume, we need to have a unit. Now though our question here, our picture doesn't have one, that means we can go ahead and just go with the generic unit, and since it's volume, it would be units cubed. We need that 3 because it's volume. Now, we're coming down to B. We need to explain how we found this. And kind of skipped ahead here. I found the volume of each prism separately, then added them to get my answer. Moving along to question 9. John is helping pack prize bags for the school carnival. He has 83 pencils to put in 26 bags. He wants to put the same number of pencils in each bag. How many pencils should he put in each bag? So here we are divvying up pencils. We have a little division problem. 83 divided by 26. We need to figure out how many 26s go into 83. What I like to do is, let's just start adding them up along the side. 52. Looks like I can go another one. That's 78. So I count how many 26s go into 83. 1, 2, 3. 3 here, 78. All right. So now I get my answer, which is 3 remainder 5. However, I need to come back to the question, and it says how many pencils should he put in each bag, and that he wants the same number of pencils in each bag. So that's kind of important here. So our 3 options would be to ignore the remainder, round the remainder, or fraction or decimal. Well, we don't have enough pencils to put 4 in each bag, so we can't round it up. Now, it wouldn't make sense to chop a bunch of pencils up, these 5 leftover pencils, and split them equally. That's just silly. Nobody wants a chopped up pencil. So that only leaves one option, and that is to ignore the remainder. So he gives 3 pencils, and now we need to explain it. He should ignore the leftovers because he doesn't have enough to give them 4 each, and fractions of a pencil just make no sense. All right, number 10, moving along, Serena and donuts. She has 2 donuts that she wants to eat for breakfast for 5 days. If she eats the same amount of donut each day, how much donut should she eat each day for breakfast? All right, so we have 2 numbers here. We have the 2 donuts and the 5 days. So there's really only 2 options here. We have 2 divided by 5, or we have 5 divided by 2. Now, if we use kind of our math common sense here, let's take a look at this. Another way to write 2 divided by 5 is 2/5. Another way to write 5 divided by 2 would be 5/2, or 2 1/2. Okay, so now let's think about this. We have 2 1/2. Well, wait a second. She can't eat 2 1/2 every day for 5 days if she only started with 2, so this just doesn't make sense. It's way too many donuts. She doesn't even have that many donuts to begin with. Therefore, this looks good. We have 2/5 of a donut each day, which our number model or our math problem is 2 divided by 5. We can prove that by showing our addition. 2/5 plus 2/5 plus 2/5 plus 2/5 plus 2/5 equals 10/5, which equals 2, which is exactly how many donuts that she had. Next one, Todd is training for a cross-country race. He ran 1/4 of a mile on Monday, 2/4 of a mile on Tuesday, and 1/4 of a mile on Wednesday. How far did he run in all? If we add 1/4 plus 2/4 plus 1/4, we get 4/4, or 1 mile. Now, I think on our copy that we're using, we might actually have this 1/4 be a 3/4. So if that's the case for your review sheet, that's going to change our answer a little bit. That will actually give us an answer of 1/4 plus 2/4 plus 3/4, which is 6/4, or 1.5. But for this problem written here, if this is 1/4 of a mile, it would be 1 mile. And again, if you have the other review copy where it's 3/4, it would be 1.5 miles. All right, next up we have Jenny had a bag of 50 pretzels. She gave 1/5 of them to her sister for a snack. How many pretzels did Jenny give to her sister? All right, so I see 1/5 of them. 1/5 of them. Now, them goes back to the 50 pretzels. Of, we learned, means to multiply. Whenever you multiply a fraction, you go straight across. 1 times 50 is 50, and 5 times 1 is 5, which equals 50 over 5 is 10 pretzels. And our last section of our Unit 4 Cum review, we need to rewrite each power of 10 in exponential notation and then also solve it. Looks like my boxes got mixed up in the format, so just ignore those boxes there. 4 times 100 is the same as 4 times 10 to the second power. That 2 relates to how many zeros are there, since there are 2 zeros, and we know that 4 times 100 is 400. Next up, we have 65 times 10 to the what power? My power relates to how many zeros I have. Since there are 5 zeros, my exponent's going to be 5, and the answer is 65 with 5 zeros, which is 6,500,000. And the last one we have, again, my exponent matches up to the 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 zeros, so my exponent is a 7, and the answer is 84 with 7 zeros, which ends up being 840 million. This concludes our Unit 4 cumulative review. I hope this helped.